Chicago! Woo. Welcome to the Chicago Sports Podcast, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Take it from here, Luke.
Oh, yeah. America's top-rated sportsbook, by the way. Use that promo code CHGO when you sign up. Make sure you do it. DraftKings, oh, we love you.
Love it.
Love DraftKings.
That's our first DraftKings read. We are back after a week off. We had a crazy last Thursday. We did not do the Chicago Sports Podcast because we were getting ready for a top-secret operation. If you've actually seen our social media in the past week, you may have seen shots of a certain Chicago Bulls starting point guard dribbling up on the roof with the drone. We had all hands on deck. It was a crazy, crazy day. Io was in here, and we pulled off a really great splash yesterday at the start of Bull season by announcing that Io DeSumo is our partner for the 2022-2023 season. And this is pretty freaking.
Look at that.
Yeah.
He's on
so
a roof.
Glad he didn't fall through the ceiling.
Oh, my gosh.
So our friends at Banner across the way helped us out with the photography and the cinematography, and our guy Jake Flanagan put together a great debut. Luke, your thoughts?
I'm giving you the old guy dance. Awesome. Again, I've been up on that roof, which is a great view, and I said on the Cubs podcast, the biggest thing is, thank goodness he didn't fall through the ceiling because the Bulls would have no players left at this point.
I know. Our friend John Greenberg at the Athletic made a joke. He said, if you do not like and subscribe CHGO Sports, Kevin Kaduk is not going to let Io off that roof. And he was right. Luckily, enough people liked and subscribed that Io was able to make it to Miami in time and had a great game.
So awesome to have him a part of this. Like, I think back to doing a show when he was in high school, and people were trying to tell me how to say his name on Friday nights because he was the kid that was showing up in all the highlights from Morgan Park, and everybody's like, this kid's going to go to Illinois. And, I mean, he's turned into something else, and I hope he takes the same sort of basketball path that Jimmy Butler did. Not a lot of people were sure about where to draft him, where to put him. Jimmy was a defensive player, had no idea that he would have that type of potential. But this kid's got the work ethic. You've seen it. He's bulked up. He's stronger, and he already has proven people wrong for not drafting him right away in the first round. And he's got that Chicago tough in him. Got a little Chicago tough in him, and I love it. and you saw it last night. He was doing everything. He missed a couple hard drives to the bucket that you could see he was frustrated with.
Yeah.
He could have had a really, really big game, but he was – I mean, you got to say he was one of the biggest reasons they won.
Sheet. He was everywhere.
He contributed in every way possible. To me, though, one of the most impressive things was Andre Drummond takes that really dumb technical there in the fourth quarter, and it really could have hurt the Bulls. And Io, he's a second-year player. I mean, Andre is a longtime vet. And Io's like, hey, man, you got to get a control of yourself. Like, let's calm down. I mean, to see that was pretty freaking impressive.
And not just that, those three-pointers before the end of the first half, like, they really kind of changed the tenor of the game. Like, you were going into that, and it was all of a sudden, it was like, all right, they might actually be in this game. They were big three-pointers. And, if he can shoot the three well this year, he's really going to up his status on that Bulls roster. Now, obviously, he was getting a lot of minutes because Zach LaVine wasn't there. But I think he's a major part. People are waiting for Patrick Williams. I don't know if I'm waiting for Patrick Williams anymore. I'm focusing on Io. He might be the guy that you've been waiting for.
Yeah, I sure hope so. Great debut last night. We're going to hit on that and a lot of Bulls talk here on the Chicago Sports Podcast. We're also talking about the awful Chicago Blackhawks retro reverse sweaters that were unveiled today.
Kevin doesn't like them.
We're talking about Jose Abreu possibly to the Cubs here this offseason. And then we're going to be talking about the second most popular athlete in Chicago. I think number one we can safely give to Justin Fields. We'll talk more about it. But I'm kind of wondering who gets that number 2 spot. So I think we have a good show lined up. But first headlines, the Bulls are 1-0, as we mentioned. DeMar DeRozan is back. He's king of the fourth. 37 points and 116-108. Surprise win in Miami. The day started off bad with the news that Zach LaVine was sitting with injury management.
Yeah.
But things quickly got better. And like you mentioned, Ayo had a big game. DeMar had a big game. It was a pretty, it was a team effort. Vooch came up with some key shots where he needed to.
Big bucket
For
late.
me, Luke, I was just kind of happy. Like since launching in March, we've kind of dealt with a little bit of a lull in Chicago sports, and there hasn't been a lot of great stuff to talk about. And look, nothing's decided with this Bulls team. A lot of stuff can happen on opening night. But it was just kind of good to tune into the CHGO Bulls show and get those vibes going. We saw Matt Peck dancing, and Will tweeting out the cat video.
Still hanging on to the Birkenstocks.
The Birks were out. So
yeah, the Birks gotta go.
I mean, but the Bulls are the one thing you've got to hang on to right now. Like the Bears are going to be disappointing. The baseball seasons were disappointing. The Blackhawks are, tanking for a top draft pick.
Right.
And the Bulls are a team that, if things work out, could make some noise in the East. Are they going to win the Eastern Conference? No, they're not. They're not even a top 5 seed.
Yeah.
And it really could go either way. I'm so thankful that it worked out the way it did on opening night, because the opposite could have been true.
Right.
We already, like you said, we're down in the dumps with the Zach news. Everybody's like, Ball's not going to play.
Well, yeah, let's dive into this. What do you make of it?
I mean, I feel like it feels like Derrick Rose all over again.
Oh goodness,
Or Lonzo,
And he's not
right?
He's not Derrick Rose, but it's like, come on, like, stop telling us these knee injuries aren't serious. Like, how do you sign him to that big contract and he's not going to be available most likely for at least the first 2 games?
Luke, hold on. The problem is that how did they go 6 days from the end of preseason?
Yes.
And nothing's announced. Everything's fine. And then the morning of, we get a Shams bomb, and
Right.
suddenly he's out for opening night and the next night. Like, what's with that? Like, and that's why Peck was so pissed on the pregame last night.
Yeah.
Like, the lack of transparency from, Billy and whoever else. Like,
We've been down this road
What are we
before.
doing?
I mean,
It's
as Luke alludes to, we've been down
Yeah.
it. And to me, it's another Reinsdorf team. We're coming off of a White Sox season in which it was a complete disaster from a health standpoint, and now we're switching over to the Bulls. And like you said, like Zach LaVine, we thought he was healthy. He got that knee cleaned out over the summer. Everything was fine. They, you don't sign a $215 million deal and not make do
by the
your
way,
due
the
diligence.
deal.
At least I don't think you do.
The deal you have to make. The way the NBA is, you have to make that deal. I don't think that's the issue. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to spend the money on it.
So did he-
unless this
did-
knee is going to be a major thing, like he had off-season surgery.
Right.
And
So did he tweak it again in the last 10 days?
Right. He did leave one of the preseason games at about halftime, I think, and didn't play after that, the final 2 games. And it was like, well,
I'm trying not to be Uncle Buzzkill over here, right? Like, I'm excited. Io was great.
Grandpa
DeRozan
Stuckey
was great.
is
Everybody's
Uncle
saying DeRozan's
Buzzkill.
going to take a step back this year. Okay, maybe he's not. I'm excited. But then the other side of my brain is like Uncle Buzzkill's in there saying, listen, if his knee's not right again at the beginning of the season, how are they ever going to win 46 games?
Right.
Ball is not going to play. LaVine is not going to play. We don't know what we're going to get out of Vooch. Io's going to have to play out of his mind. He's going to have to be an all-star for this team to stay above water. Guys, the other there is a negative hidden in this great win over a really good Heat team on opening night on the road.
And the other negative,
The whole season depends on Patrick Williams. Let's be honest.
and the other negative was out in clear view. I mean, Patrick Williams sleepwalking through that game.
4
it's not
points
great.
and 2 rebounds for your power forward that was untradeable, according to a lot of fans in the offseason. Couldn't give up on him. He's he is not Kawhi Leonard. I don't care how great he gets. He is not Kawhi. He is not baby Kawhi. Stop wishing for it. Let's hope he's serviceable.
yeah.
You watch Kawhi and you know that he's got that little extra, right? I mean, there's
Yes.
you talk about and here's the thing I love about Io is he's got that chip on his shoulder, and when you watch him play, he's pissed about being drafted 38th. He's pissed about those draft reports that said this guy is not an NBA player, or he's not this, or he's not that. And every day he steps out on that court, he's there to prove all those people wrong. DeMar last night. He puts up 37 points, and he's saying, like, hey, if you were a so-called expert saying that I was done or I'm going to take a step back, you need to find another job. Like, that's what DeMar goes out on the floor with. Is P. Will going out on the floor with that right now? No. You don't see it right now.
Well, we thought that he was working out with DeMar in the offseason. We thought those 5 a.m. wake-up calls were going to maybe wake him up for this.
Didn't rub off.
So, Lawrence, do you think that's – I mean, I hate kind of getting into this stuff and questioning players' efforts or motivations, but I do think when it's there and you can see it. And we just haven't seen it from Patrick Williams yet.
I mean, he's – I don't know. I keep rooting for the kid.
Yeah.
But –
and it was one game, and
it's not. But I don't know. But then again, here's me on the night before. I bet on the Warriors Lakers. I had a parlay going, and I thought, well, of all the guys in this game, who's going to hit the over of their scoring total? Jordan Poole, the kid that just got punched in the face by Draymond and like got this big deal. He wants to show out, right?
You've got a great system there, Law.
What are we doing? I had a 7-legger, and he's the only one that missed. Come on.
Can we finish this on a positive note?
Yeah.
DeMar is so clutch right now. Like there is no athlete in Chicago that's more clutch than he is. And I mean, I don't know how that changes. Like, again, even if Zach's knee is great, DeMar's the guy on the team. Like, I know the future would be a healthy Zach LaVine, and that's where the contract is at, but damn, they are lucky to have DeMar DeRozan, or this team would
what a value, right? I mean, he's like the 49th or 50th highest paid player. I mean, he's clearly not on a max contract, but he's playing like it. I mean, he's 33 years old, and I love what Will Gottlieb wrote on All CHGO this morning. It's like, what's coming. He's going to pump fake, and you might not bite, and he's going to pump fake again, and you might not bite, and he's going to pump fake a third time, and then you bite, and then he just drills a freaking jumper over you. Yeah. Every freaking time.
Yeah. Every time.
There's not a lot of secrets with DeMar.
19 in the third. Wow.
Unbelievable.
Hey, our guy Charlie in the chat says he's not worried about Zach. Zach is the toughest athlete currently in Chicago. He played on a bad ACL for 8 minutes once. He played on a bad meniscus most of last year with torn ligaments in his thumb. So
I'm not worried about his toughness at all. I do think Zach LaVine is tough. That's why I'm worried. He's sitting out the first 2 games, and this tough guy certainly wants to play after signing that big contract on opening night. The knee's got to be really bothering him for a tough guy like Zach LaVine to be like, I can't go, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to go the next game either. That's what I'm worried about. The knee.
That's just like the worst thing you can get into with any sports team that you love is just uncertainty from a health standpoint.
Yeah.
And to have it from game one just kind of sucks. But hopefully they rebound from this and kind of fight through it. They're in Washington tomorrow night. Washington won their first game over Indiana last night. And then home opener Saturday night against Cleveland. Make sure you're following CHGO Bulls and that crew because, I mean, they're about ready to explode into the stratosphere. Like, they had 500 people in their live chat last night. It was a party. It was a lot of fun. So the Bears are headed to New England for a Monday night game. Bears are 2-4. The Patriots are 3-3. We've gone over everything, all the problems that we have with the Bears. My challenge to you, Luke, my challenge to you, Lawrence, is say something nice about the Bears.
It ain't the orange helmets.
You like the orange helmets?
No, he didn't like them.
No, I said it ain't like those.
The orange? You're wearing an all-orange shirt right now.
I am.
Put your camera on.
Okay, hold on. Give me a second.
He's going hunting right after this.
I got to rep the dub, man.
Is it duck season yet?
How many? What do you think the Venn diagram of hunters and WNBA fans is? Is it Lawrence?
Yeah, it's probably. Well,
have you ever hunted?
No, I'm not a hunter. So yeah, it ain't me.
You got the shirt.
I do have the shirt.
Get the shirt for it.
Yeah.
Say something.
Anyways, the
nice.
Bears suck. I think that's what I can say.
You're supposed to say something nice, Lawrence.
Oh,
maybe that's the nicest thing he can say. I've got one. I finally came up with one. I've been thinking about this for a half hour. I'm like, what could I say nice about the Bears? They still provide an opportunity for the best tailgate experience in all of Chicago. Right here at CHGO coming up on November 6th and 13th.
Oh, man.
Michigan and what's the other cross street? Michigan
Roosevelt.
Roosevelt, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Tailgate time. I had to miss the first one. We're going to have good food. We're going to have good times. What is it, $34?
I think it's 40.
Not 46.
40. What?
We
46?
reran the numbers.
Oh gosh.
Reran the numbers. 46.
46
defense?
which is more than a bargain because
It still is a huge.
I challenge you to get the amount of drinks and food any other place on Michigan or Roosevelt or State or anywhere else for $46. You're not doing it.
Stan's Donuts, beers, booze. There were
Pizzas.
breakfast tacos last time. What do we? Have we
We may be-
decided? Are the
we may be
breakfast tacos
grilling.
coming back?
There may be some Blackstones out there and some sausages.
Woo! Some Green Ridge Farm, huh?
Here's the nice thing I'm going to say about the Bears. Like they have been around in games. I think there is a scenario where if their young players actually take care of business, they're actually 4-2. I mean, if Velus Jones Jr. understands how to field a punt, like maybe things get done. If Amir Smith-Marset never becomes a Bear, maybe it happens.
Too late.
I don't think they're going to go out to New England and get blown out. I mean, I don't think, obviously I think Belichick is going to eat Eberflus for lunch.
Yeah.
But I still think the Bears have a shot. Like, I don't think it's an automatic loss. And I think a lot of people are treating it that way.
Well, there's no automatic loss in the NFL. But, Kevin, we blew it. Like, we had you said, say something nice about the Bears. We should have all just shut up and let Bill Belichick talk for 7 minutes like he did yesterday.
That was a great press conference.
Going on and on, throwing rose petals at the feet of every player on the Bears. He actually had the gall to come out and say, yeah, you got to watch out for their big playability. Yeah, you mean the one time they've thrown downfield and like Mooney made this incredible catch? Yeah, big playability.
That reminded me of
score like 14 points a game.
That reminded me of back when Lou Holtz was Notre Dame's coach, and he would face some really bad like Purdue and Michigan State teams, and he would build those teams up to be, the Oklahoma Sooners, the Miami Hurricanes as they came to South Bend.
Yeah.
And does Bill Belichick usually do that? I mean, I guess I don't pay attention to his.
Yeah, Adam was talking about this yesterday, how pretty much every week he will go through the entire roster of their upcoming opponents.
And part of it is he doesn't want to answer questions.
Correct.
So that's his way of
Filibustering,
killing his press conference time by just rambling about nothing, and he knows, well, sorry, got to go. I've been here for 15 minutes. See you later, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why another reason I just hate football coaches.
He's Darth Vader.
They're the worst.
He's Darth Vader. By the way, I did finally watch the Manti Te'o doc, and it is really good. We talked about that like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Untold Story. Pretty good. You feel
that
pretty
was on
bad for
Netflix.
him.
And I told
it's
you I
good.
watched the Redeem Team.
Yeah, I'm so
one.
pumped to see that.
It wasn't bad. It was a good walk down memory lane. I don't think the people interviewed were all that introspective kind of about what they were doing. And because it was produced by a lot of those players, they didn't really get into like 2004 and how badly that team screwed things.
Yeah.
Like the whole Larry Brown debacle.
Yeah, Allen Iverson
And
Steph Marbury.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't going to throw any of those guys under the bus, but they had a big, LeBron and Carmelo were very young, so I don't think that necessarily was on them. That was just kind of a disaster. But they didn't. I think they could have gone deeper into 2004, and they didn't. So
Yeah, embrace the suck a little bit.
yeah. Also, I'm not big for like Coach K, legend myth making. So I didn't really like all that part.
I thought we were never going to talk about him again, even though he's a Chicago guy.
Is that what we
He's
decided?
retired.
Okay.
That's John Shire's team now.
Hey, good luck.
Moving on. The hot stove is not heating up yet, but we had a pretty decent rumor, at least here for Chicago. Bob Nightingale says the White Sox are not going to re-sign Jose Abreu.
Uh-huh.
Bruce Levine says the Cubs have Jose Abreu high on their list for offseason acquisitions. Luke, I know you've probably talked a lot about this on CHGO Cubs, but what's your initial take?
Well, I mean, I just think it's a logical fit, right? If he is going to hit the market from the Cubs side of it, it's a logical fit. They think they maybe have Matt Mervis, some other guys. They don't have anybody at first base. They were one of the worst teams in production and OPS in all of baseball at first base. They had nothing there. And so he fits. Like he's a stopgap for a couple years. His home runs were down last year, but he would fit nicely. He also would be a great mentor for all the young players coming up. Like you've lost Hayward. You don't know if Hap's going to be part of the team.
Yeah.
And so here's a guy that could move in there and especially for the Latin players be a great mentor, just like he's been on the South side. And he hits the ball. Like he hits the ball, and he can also move him to DH if you need to move him to DH. Matt Mervis slided. So that part of it makes sense. I'm just worried that you're going to have to convince him, hey, we're ready to compete for a World Series now, right? Like, he's going to have his choice of some teams to go to. There's still a market for Jose Abreu if the Sox aren't interested.
What's the deal? What deal is he bringing down? What? Give me. I
mean, like, would I be?
Give me term and price.
It's more about the year. It's not the price for me. I don't care what you give him per year unless you're saying something stupid like $40 million. Obviously, that's not necessary.
Yeah.
It's the years. I would never go beyond 4 years. I would like to see it be 3. Could I see it be 4 just because they've got the money and he does?
I have a hard time
other
thinking
things?
Anyone out there is going to give Jose 4 years. I mean,
I
don't know what the market's going to be like, right?
A 2 or 3 year deal is right in the sweet spot for the Cubs.
If we're talking about the last 2 or 3 hot stove seasons, that doesn't happen now. Maybe something changes now with a couple of years of full ballparks in the bank.
Yeah.
To me, it seems like 3 or 45. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean,
which I think is
I think it's over $10 million a year. But like
Sean in the chat is saying 2 for 30. Sean Caselli.
Yeah, I'm all in on that.
Yeah, so it's a
2-year deal. I'm all in on it. I don't know. Sox fans are all in on it. I don't think they're going to want to see Jose Abreu over on the north side, just like Cubs fans didn't love Samardzija.
To me, that would be the most jarring crosstown change since Ron Santo. Not that I was around for that, but you see the Ron Santo White Sox baseball card. You're like, what
you're not going to say Sammy and George Bell? Come on.
No, I mean
Sammy wasn't as popular.
Right.
Giovanni Soto?
John Garland.
He had more
Matt
promise.
Karchner.
Yeah, Sammy was at the beginning of his career.
Remember some guys.
Let's do it.
You mean Quintana? Biggest since Quintana?
Yeah,
We had a great TikTok at the start of CHGO where everyone just had a name.
I mean, it was fine.
Everyone had a name like right off the cuff, someone who played for both teams. So I don't think anyone named Matt Karchner. So I'm pretty proud of that. Neil Kotz,
Mike Holt.
Okay, that's enough. What else you got?
Mike Holt, that's a good one. Mike Holt.
There have been some bad ones, let's be honest.
I think it kind of sucks that the Sox wouldn't even think about entertaining re-signing him. I mean, to me, I know it doesn't happen. I know it rarely, but like he lives and breathes the White Sox. Like, he wanted to come back for this last push. Like, we didn't know if he was going to sign this last contract. He came back. He won an MVP. Things didn't work out from a team success standpoint, but it's like you want that guy retiring a White Sox. Like, I know Paul Konerko was not a one-team guy, but he may as well have been, right? He retired a White Sox, so it was a big deal.
It's a little bit like Contreras, right? Like, you assume Contreras is gone on the north side. I think both fan bases like the guys, and I think both fan bases, at least 70% of the fan base are like, well, maybe it is the right time if they're going to part ways. I mean, the Sox have to do something. They have too many DHs. That's what we've seen. And he's the oldest guy on the list, so it's the easiest one to say, well, let's stick with some of the younger guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree that it's probably happening. I think that's an obvious one that they're going to do. But I also see what you're saying. Like, it'd be nice.
I do hope that he stays in Chicago. I mean, I think he's been such a good presence here in Chicago. I think he's someone you want to root for. And, I mean, I think the Cubs fans would enjoy rooting for him, even with the White Sox ties. So I guess we'll see. Finally, Cubs have cut their ticket prices 5%. Our own Corey Friedman have said his season ticket invoice has gone down. So good for him. Luke, you have a note that the average bleachers price last year was $47. Now that is $44.07. So I guess with the $2.93, you can buy probably nothing in Wrigley Field. But, it adds up over 81 games, I guess.
Well, they make it up if they raise the beer prices 20 cents.
Yeah. Meanwhile, on the south side, Josh Nelson of Sox Machine tweeted that his tickets are up 20% from like $41 a game to over 50. Some anecdotal evidence says some prices have gone down, but like White Sox fans, like I don't know how you raise prices after that year.
I mean, well, look at the Cubs. I mean, they finally had to. They kind of had to come to reality. This is the lowest, not the lowest. This is the worst season attendance they've had since 1997.
Yeah.
That's a long time. Now, they were still 9th in all of baseball, so they're still cranking in the cash.
Yeah.
But that's noticeable. When you drop all the way to your lowest season attendance since 97, you better do something.
I just don't understand like how more of these teams just aren't cutting more prices, because Gate used to be like a real big, now you just want to get people there because you've got $14 beers. You've got restaurants to eat in before and after the game. You've got so much more merchandise. When we used to go out to games when we were kids, it was like that little crappy stand out on the corner with like every single hat which was like the greatest thing in the world when you saw as a kid.
And the malt cups were $1. The malt cups were $1. Now the nachos are like $50.
And there was a couple of shitty concession stands inside both parks and whatever. You get the blow up bat.
No, you get the ice cream in the helmet. Then you get the honey in the helmet.
The ice cream sundae in the helmet is the way to go.
A malt cup with the wooden spoon.
I like the malt cup. We had those in school too.
Until you get the splinter on your tongue. That's the only problem.
Splinter on your tongue.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, how these things shake out if these ticket prices do result in higher prices and whatever. So
you know what? What the Cubs are doing is they're hedging a bet that this will bring in more season ticket holders this year, so that if they're good and they spend some money, they've got them locked in and hooked for the following seasons to come. They're trying to get them in a year early.
How many people on social media have you heard say, "Hey, my name is up on the Cubs season ticket waiting list," which at one point was, however many tens of thousands of people.
Yeah,
and now I think anyone who's ever been on that list has gotten a call.
Yeah, I mean, I know personally multiple people that have been on that list and are like, "Hey, I'm good, thanks." I know I've been on that list forever. It reminds me when I was a kid. You remember the old young people are not going to remember this. Remember Bozo?
No.
On WGN?
No. Yeah, of course you remember Bozo.
The Bozo
Isn't there a Bozo
show.
Movie coming out?
Bozo Buckets. You played Bozo Buckets on WGN. It was like the thing. We were on a waiting list my entire life, and then it was like I was 8th grade, and I finally got picked to go to the Bozo show.
Yeah.
And we gave the tickets to my cousin, and he got to be selected for Bozo Buckets.
My mom got on the list when I was born, and we ended up going in 3rd grade.
Wow. You did?
Called until then, yeah. It was pretty cool.
See, my cousin got to be on Bozo Buckets, and I didn't.
My cousin was not on Bozo Buckets, but there was like another set of games, and he won like a lifetime supply of Bun candy bars. I think he's still eating them. Remember Bun candy bars?
No, I do not.
Like a shitty candy bar they used to advertise on Bozo Buckets. But
there you go.
All right. NBA fans, the wait is over. Basketball is back, so tip off the season with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers can make any $5 NBA moneyline bet and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. So have you done that with the Bulls last night? Been pretty good. Check this out. In addition to the usual bets, everyone can boost their winnings up to 100% with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, opt in, and place a stepped-up same-game parlay today. Payouts bigger than ever. DraftKings Sportsbook is where I go to bet on the NBA. I'm checking out everything with the Bulls this season, and things paid off. Last night, Io was over under 8.5 points. He hit that by the first half. He had 13 in the first half, so that was pretty sweet. Cash in on that. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code CHGO. Use any $5 bet this week and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with promo code CHGO. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See the show notes for details.
Bingo. Our next partner has a product, Kevin, I've been using, since about April. Started taking AG1 because I didn't have time, wanted better gut health, more energy, and an optimized immune system. Now I've been on it and rolling with it. It doesn't taste super healthy, but it is super healthy. That's the great combo. It's got a tropical taste. I look forward to taking it. Here's what it is. 1 scoop of AG1. You absorb 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to start your day right. A special blend of ingredients supporting your gut health. That's super important. Your nervous system, immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, aging, all those things. I get a boost of energy, so I take it first thing in the morning, and that gets me going, ready to jump into traffic. It's lifestyle friendly, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, gluten-free, or dairy-free, you're all good with AG1, investing in an all-in-one nutritional insurance for less than $3 a day, recommended by professional athletes, has more than 7,000 5-star reviews. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health, arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. 1 scoop in a little cup of water every day. That's it. You don't need a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/CHGO Cubs. That's right, I said it. athleticgreens.com/CHGO Cubs. Again, CHGO Cubs. Thank you very much. Take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. The vitamin D thing is key right now because the sun's going to start going away.
That is correct.
And you need the vitamin D just as much as you need the vitamin C. Get those drops. Keep the immune system up. So they're giving you a little bonus there. I'll tell you what else is a bonus. I saw the next 4 days, 70 degrees and above. Bingo.
In the comments, Sean Caselli says, peanuts, water, cheaper on the outside, folks. If that doesn't take you back, what are these retro accounts like on Twitter, Comiskey Park or something?
Well, there's the 170 sports guy.
That one, but they put up a picture of old Comiskey Park, and it had like the Burger King. It was like Burger King hat day. Like Ozzie Guillen and Yvonne Calderon were on the field, and I think Ribby and Rhubarb were out there.
Ribby and Rhubarb.
Greg Luzinski.
And I was like immediately transported. I showed it to my wife, and I was like, I'm like immediately like 7 years old again when I look at this picture. And she was not impressed, but
you know what takes me back to old Wrigley Field or also old Comiskey Park?
Yeah.
The smell of cigarettes. Back when you could
There
just
you go.
people were chain smoking.
Well, that's
at the
Chicago
ballpark
Stadium
behind
where
you,
the
right?
entire thing was just a cloud of smoke. All right, let's get into Scroll Stoppers time with Casey Standahar, our head of social here at CHGO. Casey is powering through a busy week. She had a lot of hand in the Io DeSumo launch, and now she's here to talk about the things that went viral.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
What's up, Casey? How you feeling?
I thought you were going to say that I was having a tough week with my voice and my cold.
What's going on there?
I'm feeling better-ish. Still.
Okay.
So last
not
Friday
great.
night,
Get you some of those
you
vitamin D
broadcast a
drops.
high school playoff game.
Yes, I
Or
did.
Not a playoff game. I guess just a high school
Just a
football
regular
game.
season game, yep.
In the pouring rain.
Yep.
I watched you on Channel 26.
About
Thank
40
you.
degrees out.
I was hoping you would kind of look like a drowned rat, but you didn't look that like wet. Like
Well, I had a tent, umbrella,
Oh, there was a tent.
lot of great crew members that keep me dry and looking pretty, so couldn't
Okay.
do it without them. But
so then
thank you.
Saturday night you go to Cleveland and go to the Guardians' big win over the Yankees.
Yeah, so
How did
no
that
wonder
series
I
turn
feel
out?
like no wonder I feel like crap. Don't rub it in. Thank you.
How did the series turn out?
Not
Keith?
great.
Okay.
You knew that. You just wanted to make me feel.
I've checked out of
Yeah.
the baseball playoffs.
Don't worry, you will never blow a
Guardians
3-1 series
had
lead.
an incredible game 3, which I was at,
Okay.
and then 4 and 5 we unfortunately
Oh,
just couldn't do it.
That's too
So last 2 weeks ago when we talked about our teams that we're rooting for in the playoffs, I feel like all of mine are like out at this point.
are they?
Yeah, we have to
I know,
look back
shut
at
the-
I'm
that.
all in on the
Shame,
Phillies now. I think.
Are you?
Yeah, I think so too.
Let's
I'm
get
kind of all out
Schwarber
on the
ring.
Padres.
Let's go, Pods.
Padres
I
are
kind of
fun.
like Juan Soto. I don't know.
It's fine. Who doesn't love
Well, you
Juan
think
Soto?
he's cute.
I do.
Okay,
I
so
can't.
let's-
I can't lie about
You
it.
definitely want that National League team to end up winning this over the Astros and Yankees.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Sure.
All right, guys, it's time for Scroll Stoppers. Here's what's popping on social media. We have to talk about this. The Blackhawks, along with the rest of the NHL, released their new reverse retro jerseys. Now, they did this 2 years ago. This was a hit 2 years ago, and Adidas felt pressure to kind of bring it back. So here's a look at all of the jerseys. Kind of feels like Back to the Future, reverse retro.
Yeah.
Well,
here-
which ones do we
that
like?
doesn't even make
Well,
sense,
we-
reverse
Well,
retro.
can we just talk about the Blackhawks one
Yeah,
first?
let's
just
talk
talk about
about
the
Yeah,
Blackhawks.
let's,
Horrific.
because
In the
I don't like
upper
it.
right.
It feels like the same as Detroit's, but it's not as bad as Detroit's. So at least we're not Detroit.
Detroit's will always suck.
Yeah.
So
no
I
matter
wore
what.
the 2009 Winter Classic jersey. This is how you do an alternate jersey. Like, this is pretty sweet. I think the NHL and the Blackhawks are in a spot right now where they really don't want to use the Indian head. And if you really don't want to use the Indian head, then I think you have problems, and you're going to end up coming up with problems like this. I mean, look, this thing is, I know it's playing off of a sweater design from the 50s.
No, it's an
terrible.
ugly Christmas ugly sweater party is what that is. If you put a couple of little green and red lights on that, and wear a necklace with it. You could show up to any bar or any party this holiday season, and you could win the ugly sweater contest. That's what that is, basically.
The thing that's just a bummer is, like, you go through all how many teams are there now? 32. You go through 32 teams. Like, there's like 25 or 26 really, really cool ones. There's not a lot of groaners in here, but the Blackhawks are an absolute groaner. Like,
well, let's shall we scroll through here in the Western Conference?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a person who does not need to, like, be convinced to buy a Blackhawks sweater. I've got probably 10 of them in my closet. Like, under no circumstances will I consider buying this.
It's terrible. But, yeah, so on this one, we've got the Flames. We've got the Avs.
The Avs is cool.
Avs is cool using the Colorado flag, state flag.
Best. No doubt.
The best. We've only seen 4.
You think Colorado's
It
is the
already
best?
I like
is.
Colorado's
It's already
quite
the
a bit.
best.
Pump the brakes.
It's classic. I love the
pump.
white. I love the crisp logo.
Yeah. I mean, they're a little bit like the old Florida Panthers colors, but
Yeah.
okay.
So the Canadians have one that is.
Hey, hold on. We're going through
sorry.
these, man.
Okay, we're
Look
going
at the
through,
screen,
sorry.
man. Look at that. We got the stars. Those kind of suck because fuck the stars. Next up.
Don't push Lawrence.
Who do we
He hasn't
got?
had enough caffeine.
We got the Wild. Those look fine. I mean, I hate the North Stars, but whatever.
yeah, but that's a cool.
I mean, if you're in
tip of the
Minnesota,
cap.
you're loving that. You're
Sure.
loving
Yeah,
those
that's
colors.
nice.
The giant saber-toothed predator Nashville
I don't
thing.
hate it. It looks kind of like what they have now. The Blues one.
So I hate the
Is
Blues.
cool.
Is that
Hate
a
the Blues.
UCLA jersey or sweater? What is that?
I hate the Blues. I think that is one of the best ones.
Oh,
It
you
is.
like
that
it?
one's
huh?
amazing.
It is very retro. Reverse retro.
Super cool.
Yeah,
Whatever
says the
that
girl
means.
wearing bell bottoms today. I don't know. I mean, it's fine. I just
Vegas.
Whatever.
How do they go retro?
yeah, exactly. That's
Been around for like 2 years.
I mean, they should have just put like an old picture of Dean Martin on the front. Anyways,
Well, they should have put like the rock. They should have had the Rockettes should be on it.
yes, or
The Sharks are a
Tiger
nod
guys,
to the
sure.
California Golden Seals, so I think those are actually pretty cool.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, Kraken again. Talk about a team that doesn't have retro.
I mean,
Right.
yeah. What there's just sad. It's just what it is. What it is.
Yeah, cool stripes though.
The
The
Canucks.
Knuckleheads.
They should have gone with like a Sonics jersey.
Yes,
I
That would've been
hate
cool.
the Canucks as well. I feel like that looks like an AHL jersey, but it's still pretty cool.
Yeah, like the old Houston Arrows or something.
Jets.
Jets are whatever. Moving on, the Ducks. Well,
None of these do anything for me.
Sure.
Mighty Ducks.
The Yotes. Those will look
Just
good.
fold the franchise.
Those will look good in the 5,000
fold
seat
'em.
arena.
Just fold it up.
The Kings purple and gold is always a good look. They should go to that permanently.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
fold it up in Phoenix.
All right. Let's go to the East. Who do we got in the East here? Let's see. Oh, always fun when the fat bear head gets on the old Bruins jersey.
And if you're listening on the pod, take a look at these. They're on
Ah,
all
they'll
over
be
the
everywhere.
internet. They're
Yeah.
on Twitter. They're on everywhere. So
Buffa Slug is back for the Sabres.
Buffa
Yeah.
Slug. Is that what they called him?
So I don't have a lot of out-of-town jerseys, but one of my favorites is I do have an old-school Buffalo Sabres jersey.
Are you talking this logo?
No,
No, the old
Yeah.
blue and gold with the,
which is
like,
amazing.
full
Yeah, but how
Which
many-
I think is the second best sweater in
How many hockey sweaters do you have?
Dale Howard Chuck
Probably
getting
20.
his jugular
Probably
20?
20, yeah.
sliced. You have 20? Okay. The Detroit is terrible, just like the Blackhawks. Looks awful.
I actually think the Detroit one's better than the Blackhawks.
I mean, it's not. That's not saying anything, honestly, because the Blackhawks is
Yours
terrible.
Sort of looks like an old school prison costume.
but I could have seen them like actually
stripes?
wearing that, and like
Sure.
maybe they actually did wear that. I don't know.
It's better than the Blackhawks. The Blackhawks is an ugly sweater.
I do enjoy the giant sunshine palm tree, and
Whatever.
it looks kind of like a 5-iron, but I guess that's a hockey stick on the Panthers.
That'd be
jersey.
a
That's
cool sweater if you and your buddies started a rec league team.
Hey,
according
that's a good
according to
idea.
ESPN, the worst one on this whole thing, the worst one on the list is the Lightning.
Oh, well, let's keep going here. What do we got here? Here's
It's
the,
just their sweater.
Oh,
isn't
there
it,
they are.
basically? Isn't
Oh,
that
there's a
just their
giant
sweater?
wave. And then what's on
What's
the sleeves?
retro?
So the
about
Canadians is Expos themed, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's cool. Let's go Expos. Give me Youppi.
The
at
Senators
the,
one looks pretty similar to what they have. Shout
Yeah,
out
that-
to Alex DeBrincat.
Wait,
Seriously,
where's
yeah.
the Canadians?
That's Canadian,
left.
Top
yeah,
left.
upper left there.
Oh, that is cool.
Lightning. What is going on in the sleeves? This looks like a something that maybe, I don't know, like a monster truck driver would wear. That's got dumb sponsors all over it. That looks terrible.
Why couldn't
like the Maple
Chicago
Leafs.
do like Bulls theme, like with the script Chicago or something? Like, why couldn't we play off another one of our teams?
Or do like
Do one like the sky.
Anything.
take the C,
Seriously, take the Sky-
the Sea Tomahawks logo, and have a day. I don't know.
No,
Why not do the skyline?
That's the same Guardian Indians issues. You can't call them the tribe. You can't use logos that are kind of similar because it's not different enough.
We
So
canceled her.
CHGO
She was wearing a Indians hat at the
Listen.
game last Saturday.
Listen,
CHGO Blackhawks
she's
did an
canceled.
interview with Danny Wirtz and Jamie Faulkner yesterday, and they asked, like, how does this go down? And Jamie Faulkner said, like, you basically get three options. They say, here's 3 options. And she said they kind of like told him no, but Jay Zawoski said that he had the impression that the Hawks don't have a lot of say in this, which actually sucks. This is
That does
Adidas.
suck.
Adidas has the contract. I think the contract is up soon. I hope that the NHL goes to a provider that actually cares about it, because Lawrence, before the show today, you went to the Adidas site. You can't find any of this stuff on Adidas.
Hockey isn't even listed in the sports but down at the bottom of the
Insane.
thing. Yeah.
You know, go back to Europe. Go. You know.
Okay, now
Still paying off that D Rose
as we
contract.
continue looking through these, we're now in the
Devils
the
one.
Devils
is fire.
one.
Fire.
I do like that.
You're referencing the fact that they used to be the Colorado Rockies, which is why that's the same color as the Avalanche and as the Colorado state flag. Mm-hmm. No, give me the green. Give me the old Christmas
Well,
uniforms.
they've done that before.
How is
I
that
don't
Flyer
care.
sweater old?
That's the best. Yeah, the Flyer sweater looks exactly the same. Rangers, sure, that's from the 90s or something. I do like that the Gordon's Fisherman has come back for the Isles. That's fun.
yeah.
I went to the only time I saw Wayne Gretzky ever play in person was against the Rangers at United Center, and they were wearing that jersey.
I believe I was
The
at
Rangers
his
one
last
looks like
game
cheap.
in the United Center.
The Rangers one looks cheap, and the Devils one looks like classy.
I guess. Let's see. Penguins, that looks like something they've been wearing for years. Capitals, I hated that
The
look.
Canes looks like an
Ole
ad for
Kolzig.
Canes chicken.
Ole the goalie.
Ah, yes.
Chicken
Raising
fingers.
Cane's.
Is that a chicken? Is that a
you
Raising
know what?
Cane's chicken fingers
Luke,
sweater?
it's that time in the show when we start talking about food, and I realize, God,
We're
damn,
hungry.
I'm starving. Where are we going to
I
lunch?
wish Raising Cane's had more
Blue
sauces.
Jackets.
Let's get a beef
Casey, do you have any
sandwich,
thoughts
friend.
about the Blue
I
Jackets?
just think the Blue Jackets one is meh. It looks kind of like
You used to work for the Blue
I
Jackets.
did, and I love the whole franchise. However,
God, I hate the franchise.
That's bad.
kind of boring.
Yeah.
Capitals bad. Most of these, well, the Hawks is the worst
well.
one.
I think
is.
The
Detroit's
Hawks is
bad
the worst
too.
one.
Detroit's
and
is
if
bad.
they didn't have a hand in that, that's first of all, that's wrong. Like, you're a charter franchise. They should have some say in this thing. Here's 3 choices. What kind of garbage
It's
is
not
that?
even so bad. It's good.
No.
Yeah, it's not like it's ever going to turn it around and become good.
That Edmonton
after a
Oilers
while.
one might be so bad it's good.
No. Yeah. I don't
All
know.
right.
Whatever. They suck.
Well, we'll move on. I'm not a fan of really any of those except for the Colorado one. But here is our CHGO clip of the week. Look at our guys, Peck, Big Dave, and Will, celebrating an unexpected Bulls victory without Zach LaVine or Lonzo Ball. 116-108, a big game for DeMar and Io. DeMar had a game-high 37 points on the road in the season opener. And this is how our guys reacted.
Yeah. Okay. We don't want to get a copyright
No,
claim.
I'll talk over it so we can't hear it. We can't hear the
Oh, look
music.
at Pack dancing.
Peck's dancing sort of like a peacock and a rooster
Yeah.
mated,
Yeah.
They
that's-
are just vibing in this video. They're so happy.
right? That's what that is. It's
Big
a little
Dave
bit of
is like texting, but he's also kind of dancing a little
Yeah.
bit.
what does he call that dance, Peck?
I don't know. We have to ask him.
Yeah, that's
Maybe it's like the
something.
peck.
It's
Kinda
that's what
like-
it is. Peck, peck, peck.
It's already
peck.
been made into
He's
a
a
GIF.
rooster going peck, 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 peck.
Yeah, that's
They
that's
just
something.
seem really happy that the season's starting out stronger than they probably expected.
Will
So,
Gottlieb looks like a guy who's really happy that he was gifted the cat video
Yeah.
by
Stefan, no.
Stefan No. And now anytime he posts that, he gets thousands of likes and engagement. It's just
Now, here's
guaranteed
the question,
engagement.
though. So he, up until the start of the season, was at Won't Gottlieb, which I thought was
They
a
changed it.
hilarious pun.
Right.
And now he's just officially Will Gottlieb.
he's trying to be
changed it. I saw that.
serious. He's trying to be positive and serious.
Yeah,
So is Peck. Take a look at that video.
Won't Gottlieb is perfect, though.
He's a woodpecker,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
huh?
Sure. Okay. I think we've seen that enough. Don't you think?
Yeah, we can
okay.
move on.
We can move on.
That
from
is
that.
Scroll Stoppers for this week, you guys.
Oh, boy.
Thank you.
All right, what's
was a
next?
big finish.
I guess it's time for Stuck and Duck.
we game time it first?
Yeah, let's
wanna
talk a
game
little
time
bit. We're going to be talking about the most popular athletes in Chicago. Let's figure out what the tree looks like. But first, I'm going to tell you about GameTime tickets. GameTime is the hottest new ticketing site that makes it easier than ever to score the best deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows. If you ever dreamed of sitting in a seat you never thought you could, 50-yard line, courtside, behind home plate, floor seats at a concert, it is possible with the GameTime app. The biggest last-minute price drops can be found on the seats you thought you could never buy. I'm going to be using it for the Bulls this year. I'm going to be using it for the Blackhawks. I know there's probably going to be a lot of deals to be had, especially for that second team I mentioned.
Yeah.
And I know I won't find a better deal all season. GameTime is created by the fans for the fans, and it guarantees a lower price. If you love CHGO, then you will love GameTime. And the best way to support us is by buying your tickets through the link in any description on any of our YouTube videos. So when you do this, make sure that you're supporting us by doing this, because GameTime loves it when you do.
Thank you.
Join over 15 million people who have downloaded the GameTime app and score the best seats to all of your favorite events.
Kev, the home opener tomorrow for the Blackhawks. I see a ticket here, $49 each. Up in the 300 level.
Just wait. You wait on that.
I would probably need two. My younger daughter would probably want to go. So is that just a single ticket or two?
2 tickets.
Beautiful.
2 tickets.
Bring her into the office. We're right down the street from the United Center, and you wait until 30 minutes before.
Yeah.
And then you go after those game time tickets.
I think so.
If you don't, you tell her, you know what, let's go to Portillo's. Get some
She'll be
cake.
fine.
And she'll be just as happy.
So I don't know if you know this, Luke. Like, I think your little guy is still at a point where he can get in without a ticket to the United Center.
Really?
He's going to sit on your lap? Like, and I think it's under, I don't know how many inches. I'm sure he's still under it.
Yeah.
And my girls were there for a while. And they would not, it's not like the Disney World where they actually measure you out. Like, even when they were a few inches over,
right,
they'd still just wave you through. Now she's a little too much taller. They're going to say, where's your ticket? So
I would like to get him up on the Zamboni. He'd be most excited by the Zamboni. Unquestionably, he'd be thrilled by the Zamboni.
They do that for kids now, right?
Yeah.
They do that when I worked for the Blue Jackets.
I got the seatbelt.
It's the best.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be like the garbage trucks. The most Friday garbage is the most exciting thing at our house all week.
All right, let's talk about the second most popular athlete in Chicago. And I've already seen some stuff in the comments saying Justin Fields is not the most popular athlete in Chicago. I would say that you are wrong. And, maybe someone like I think like Jonathan Taves and Patrick Kane at one point were more popular than Justin Fields is now, right?
Well,
like,
yeah.
full
Sure.
stop.
Yes.
At this point, they are not. Like, they have faded into the background. It's this really weird situation where they're saddled with a whole bunch of crappy teammates. And, I don't want to say their legacy has faded, but we've forgotten a little bit about those banners, right?
They're on a bad
Patrick
team.
Kane is going to go down as the greatest Blackhawk in history. But right now, at this moment, it's not like everyone's just like clamoring to get Patrick Kane merchandise.
But how are we judging this? Because I think one way you can think about it is jersey sales, right?
Right.
So people already have their Taves and Kane. So,
true.
but there are
so,
a lot of them. There are a lot of them out there still.
Fields was like top 5 last year, right?
Yeah.
And look, I mean, we do this at the end of the season. Like, we might be ready to be done with Fields and move on. But I honestly think, like, no matter how this plays out, I think Justin Fields is going to be like kind of in that Mitch Trubisky mode where we still have a little
hope
bit.
He's not.
Like, Mitch Trubisky just won a game with the Steelers. They beat the Buccaneers. I'm like, hey, good for Mitch.
Are we?
Good for him.
No,
I don't care.
Don't do it.
I
Don't,
hate the
please don't
Steelers.
do that.
You hate but you don't hate Mitch Trubisky. I hope you don't.
Taves and Kane are the most accomplished athletes in Chicago, and they might be the most well-known still over Justin Fields. But the problem is that the sport and the NHL are not nearly as big as the giant that the NFL is.
Yeah.
So
But
even
who's
though
moving the
Fields
needle
hasn't
now?
done anything, and we're rooting for him, and some people have given up on him,
None of
the
them are moving the
NFL is
needle
so much
yet.
bigger than the NHL that I can make that argument that, Fields is probably bigger than they
Sean
are.
Catelli says, gonna be Matt Mervis starting next October.
Yeah.
Someone said Nick Madrigal in our
No.
That's
Was
not
it
true.
was it Ryan Herrera?
No, it was not Ryan Herrera. It was somebody on Twitter. That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, the baseball. Tim Anderson might be on there, but again,
So I don't think
Southside fan base, while they are great fans and they are like it's a smaller group of people, right? It's a smaller fan base. it's a fan base that loves their team and they're diehards, but like the Blackhawks, it's a smaller fan base. So immediately you start going probably to a Cubs player or a Bulls player.
I think it's
Why not Io?
Yeah.
Charlie's saying Zach LaVine easily.
I don't think it's easily. I don't think.
Is he more popular than DeMar now?
I don't know. I don't think so. And I think Io, if he plays like he did last night, is going to have a really big claim on this
I could tell you it's not Vooch.
because of his. It's not Vooch.
Sorry.
It's not Patrick Williams.
Is it
And
Candace
it's not
Parker?
Patrick Williams.
I don't
Yeah.
think
No,
enough
because
people
again,
watch
the
it.
WNBA it's a smaller. It's again great fans, but
Yeah.
it's a smaller group of fans.
So I'll say this, Luke. I do think like it's hard for a baseball player to ever really be the most popular athlete. I think in our lifetimes, I think Sammy Sosa
Yeah.
held that, and I think Frank Thomas was probably the second most popular athlete in Chicago
Yeah.
during the 90s, right? And like, okay,
Yeah.
like you probably say Scottie Pippen is probably number 2, but if you kind of put Jordan and Pippen and, in kind of their own thing, I think Frank Thomas was really up there as a Titan because he was an eventual Hall of Famer. And I think you kind of have to like think of like, okay, who's eventually going to be in the Hall of Fame or whatever.
Let's put it this way: if you're over at Gibson's downtown, wherever
Right.
you're at, you're somewhere downtown.
Of
You're
course
having
you're-
you're
of
having
course
dinner with your
Gibson's is
family.
your spot.
If
Let's make
Justin
it
Fields
Gibson's.
walks in,
Actually,
it's
everyone
not
is
my place.
everyone is calling and saying, Justin Fields is in Gibson.
Justin Fields.
Do you
Yeah,
know who I-
Justin
Gibson's
Fields
with
here.
Justin Fields.
Get a
Do you know who I
picture of
met
him
at
at the table.
Gibson's
Snap a
once?
picture. Taves and Kane are still real high on that
Wait,
list.
Yeah.
Casey wants to tell us who she met at Gibson's once.
I think it was Gibson's or one of those bars. Chris Chelios.
Ah, sure.
Surprising.
Shelly likes to drink,
at one
Does?
point,
doesn't he?
probably one of the more famous athletes in Chicago.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It was. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
nice.
I was once at
Chicago cut. Let's
no,
say Chicago.
Joe's, and Scottie Pippen walked in, and this was like I think it was in 2007, the night before the Bears Seahawks playoff game.
And let me guess, he didn't
Pippen
tip.
walks in, and everyone got up and gave him a standing ovation, like he had just won like title number 5.
Well, there's
Like it was awesome. It was like one of the best Chicago moments I'd ever been a part of.
there is no question if you're talking about just athlete,
Yeah.
popular athlete. Yeah, if Michael walked into anywhere in the city, like craziness.
Yeah.
Any of those Bulls walk in there, craziness. We're talking about current
So
athletes
I think
playing in a
the
game
answer
right now.
is,
The answer is still Taves and Kane together, combined
but
together.
I think right at this moment, I think it's DeMar, and would I have said that in
Before
August?
he dropped
No.
37 last night?
But if DeMar keeps doing what he's doing and putting up numbers like he's doing and saving them and winning games,
I think it's Zach. I think more people still associate this team with Zach LaVine than they do DeMar because it's only been one season of DeMar. That's just a guess. I'm not saying he's not.
Last season was like the best season of the Bulls in a long time, and DeMar was the most responsible for that.
Yeah,
And
I'm not saying that's not true.
Yeah, that
When
doesn't
when
make
all
him
is
the
said
most
and
popular,
done,
though.
like there was 3 great Chicago free agent additions: Marion Hossa, John Lester, Candace Parker, and DeMar DeRozan is absolutely on that list now.
Yeah, I'm just saying I don't think he's the most popular. Now, is he the most important?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And I just wish there was another. I can't think of it. There is no other. David Montgomery. How about David Montgomery?
No,
just
it's.
so
I mean, it'd be Roquan if he was playing well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think it
But,
is.
I mean, there's all
Yeah,
this
I'd
contract
say
stuff.
David Montgomery.
It's not David Montgomery.
I think it should be DeMar DeRozan. However, it is Zach LaVine still as number
the Bears
2.
are king.
As number 2.
Yeah, Luke, I'm with you that it would probably be some other Bear, but this team is so just
So bad.
terrible.
Now, if
that
we
it-
Darnell Mooney
might be
until he didn't make the catch at the goal line.
yeah, Trevor Simeon.
Catch the ball.
If we did this 4 years ago, it would be even more of a mud fight because you'd have Rizzo, you'd have Bryant,
Yes.
you'd
Yeah.
have, Schwarber,
Javi, but they would all split
Lester.
the vote. You might have Patrick Sharp along with Kane,
Duncan
Taves, Hossa.
Keith,
Yeah,
Brett Seabrook.
they split votes.
Yep.
I think it would have been Chris Bryant out of that group.
Yeah.
Cubs fans had a weird relationship with Chris
Yeah,
Bryant.
they
Yeah.
did.
Well,
Super weird.
Yeah, the
Boy,
injuries.
Javi was popular too.
Yeah.
Schwarber, but I'm just telling you, those guys would have.
And that's why I
split
brought
the vote,
that's
and
why
it
I
could be
brought this
Abreu.
up is like there's not a bona fide number 2. I mean, like Zach is huge, but we're still waiting for like a great Zach LaVine moment, aren't we?
Yeah, yeah.
I appreciate this comment from Unknown Slays, who says Rose still more cheered than most when he returns. So maybe it's still Derrick Rose.
That's, you know what? D Rose might be the answer still.
I mean,
boy, that says a lot, doesn't
I love
it?
D Rose.
Well, then you could say it's Kyle Schwarber or Anthony Rizzo.
No.
No.
I don't think people.
Yeah,
care
we're
about
saying
them.
the guy
Not
who's
anymore.
And
How
the
can you not
question
like
is
Anthony
in
Rizzo at this
Chicago.
point?
I
They're not in
cannot
The
like
guy's got
Anthony
his
Rizzo
name
at
on a
this point.
hospital ward.
right,
Yeah.
but we're not saying the question is
No.
in Chicago. Not
Yeah.
played in Chicago. It's in Chicago. They're not in
Yeah.
Chicago.
I don't
Okay,
think it's
fine.
Derrick Rose,
Fine,
though.
Luke. Fine.
I don't think it's Derrick Rose.
Well, the day
No,
he
he's-
comes
he's
with the
not in
Knicks,
Chicago.
I'm going to say it's him.
We should do a
it's gotta
poll
be
on
Taves
Twitter.
and Kane. It has to
We
be
will.
Taves and Kane.
Who are our options if we do a poll?
Yeah, I don't know if you could do a poll. That
We
there's
do
too many
DeRozan,
people.
Zach.
I mean, yeah.
Taves, Kane
I mean,
together.
you only do 4. That's just
Taves,
not
Kane
Taves
together.
and Kane are the living legends. Like that, they're like right now. Like had we,
But
you know,
still
I
playing.
know, but like it's just the way. I mean, Taves is. I personally will always be a Taves guy, but like the
He's-
last couple years have been really rough.
Jonathan Taves is my favorite Chicago athlete, not named Walter Payton of all time.
Yeah,
like full
I mean,
stop.
I
like
kind of agree.
of those 20 like sweaters I have, like 9 or 10 of them are Jonathan Taves. Like if I buy a Hawks sweater, I get the Jonathan Taves one. I just think like right now his Q rating in Chicago is just not that high.
Right.
So
Yeah, but until the Bulls like win some playoff series,
yeah.
as great as DeMar's playing, his popularity in the general public is not going to explode like it would for those guys. Like your average person in Chicago who's not like CHGO is for diehard fans. We're built for people that want to talk about your Chicago sports teams every single day. You can't get enough of it. There are the people that will show up when your playoff team is good and get excited. Oh, yeah, we won 5 championships, all of that stuff. But that's not going to draw DeMar DeRozan right now. Like, for instance, my wife's not a huge sports fan. She
doesn't know who
could not
DeMar is.
identify DeMar DeRozan.
Right.
She could absolutely identify Taves and Kane.
I told my wife that Io was coming in. She's like, who?
Yeah, a lot of people still don't know who Io DeSumo
Yeah,
is.
but that's
Yeah.
changing. That's
Yeah.
changing. Watch that game last night. Changing.
It'd be interesting to have this conversation in 6 months and see how it changes. And
Can't wait. Let's do it.
Everything.
Let's put it
You
on the
wanna
Mark
books.
it down. Let's do it.
Put it on the Google Calendar.
And as Kobe Crawford says in the chat, he says, at least Candace Parker gave Chicago a championship. That's
true.
Damn
Oh, not
right.
saying that.
Damn right.
Yeah, that's the truth.
I think Candace is knocked down a little bit because she hasn't been here for most of her career. And then I feel kind of like as soon as she's done with the Sky, she's going to be back to L.A., and like she won't be of Chicago.
Hey, man, she's got a hell of a media career going on. I'm all
It's
for it.
unbelievable. And we should all be proud of what she is and what she's accomplished. I mean, it's crazy.
But
I
the
mean,
most
it's-
popular,
Right.
the league alone, unfortunately, that's just
Come
factual.
on, Luke.
It's just factual. There just aren't as many Sky fans as there are Bears fans.
Right.
Well, okay. Yeah. Guess I can't argue with that. All right. Well, thanks, everyone. Let's wrap this up
You all
and
right, Lawrence?
end the show. What do you say?
All right. This has been the Chicago Sports Podcast. We're here every Thursday at 11 a.m. If you like what we do, make sure you leave us a great review on your podcast provider of choice, and make sure you tell a friend about us. We'd like to have a lot of fun, and we'll see you next Thursday at 11 a.m.
See ya.